Hello, and thank you so much for listening in to Nova Bell Media, where it's all about transformative heart work. Perfection is not required. This is where we discuss those lessons earned with a capital L. I'm your host, Darlene Thomas. You don't want to miss what we're discussing today. Come on in. This episode is about letters, credentials, and what's truly earned in life's lessons. Who are you? Not your title or your role, not even the version of you that performs, produces, or protects. Who are you behind the face, behind the walls built for survival? Behind the accomplishments, credentials, and applause? Who are you when no one is watching? When no one is asking anything of you? The Bible says, Proverbs 23:7, "For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Not as he appears, not as he claims, not even as he achieves, but as he thinks in his heart. Your true identity isn't built on what you accomplish. It's built on what you believe about yourself, about others, and about the world. Because beliefs become decisions. Decisions become patterns. And patterns shape a life. So the real question isn't, who do you say you are? The real question is, what are you telling yourself when no one else can hear? Because that voice is shaping your life, whether you realize it or not. If we're honest, we often try to answer the identity question with proof. We all love our letters, don't we? Those credentials we proudly stack behind our names: MSN, MBA, CEO, the whole alphabet soup. Education is valuable. It's admirable. It's a real investment in intellectual intelligence, your IQ. Credentialed intelligence asks, what do you know? But here's the truth people rarely say out loud. Credentials don't automatically make you effective in emotional intelligence. Credentials tell me what you've studied. Emotional intelligence tells me how you perform when it matters. You can stack degrees like Scrabble tiles and still not know how to lead, influence, or connect. Because intelligence isn't only what you know, it's how you live, adapt, and lead. Kudos has to go to the unsung heroes who invest emotionally in others, those mentors, coaches, and leaders who pay attention. I was blessed with them growing up, and again when I became a nurse. Teachers, preachers, leaders, and role models who shaped me emotionally and intellectually. How many of you have watched an organization hire the most qualified person on paper, only to watch that investment fall apart under the weight of someone intoxicated by a title rather than equipped for leadership? They say people leave companies. No. People leave people. Organizations analyze data and metrics masterfully, but emotional growth requires emotional investment, something the corporate world still treats as optional. Someone once said, "It's not passing or failing the interview. The real test begins when something goes wrong." Because the moment conflict happens, the moment feedback is needed, the moment tensions rise, credentials go silent. How you handle pressure with awareness, regulation, and empathy reveals your emotional intelligence. Society rewards intellectual intelligence. Leadership requires emotional intelligence, but wisdom comes from the integration of both. The most powerful people aren't the smartest on paper. They're the ones who have integrated what they've lived with what they've learned. This isn't about judging behavior. It's about understanding why growth doesn't always follow experience. Here's the truth. Experience alone does not create growth. Integration does. Many people have lived a lot, endured a lot, but never had the tools, safety, or support to process it. It doesn't make them weak or lazy or unintelligent. It often means their pain was never metabolized. Their emotions were avoided or suppressed, and survival quietly became the goal. When survival becomes identity, avoidance feels like strength, because meaning never has room to be made. And we cannot imagine what this person has endured. This is where judgment becomes cruel. Most people weren't taught to process pain. They were taught to survive it. How do I know? Because I once had to survive pain too. People get stuck because at some point growth felt unsafe. And when they needed a safe place to reflect, release, or rebuild, that place did not exist. That's why we're committed to be in a safe space here. No judgmental attitude, only growth. Reflection creates meaning, and meaning creates release. Learning is the information. Earning is the transformation. And integration is impact. When someone has integrated what they've lived and learned, you can see it in calm instead of reaction. Boundaries without cruelty, confidence without defensiveness, authority without arrogance, and compassion without collapse. A young man once asked me after a conference, "How do I integrate what I am going through?" Here's how. You sit with your pain or confusion long enough that you no longer need clarity, closure, or control. That's when the experience moves from the head, through the heart, and into the body. This is where emotional intelligence is born. Not in a classroom, but in the field of life. It's earned where your degree couldn't help you, but your character did. Earned intelligence asks, who have you become? Because real life sharpens what education starts, and it grows you in ways no syllabus can. So, yes, initials are nice. They open doors, but they don't keep them open. Some of the strongest leaders I've met didn't have the most credentials. They had the most wisdom. Wisdom earned through showing up after messing up, growing up, recalibrating, and rising again. Grief teaches compassion, heartbreak teaches depth, silence teaches discernment, loss teaches value, love teaches courage, surrender teaches faith, rebuilding teaches power. Experience alone doesn't create the growth. Integration does. Here's the truth we're circling. You are what you believe. You can believe in your ability to overcome and grow, or believe the labels and limits that shrink your life. Integration is what turns belief into becoming. And here's the credential you can't abbreviate behind your name. The strength you earned by surviving chaos, defying odds, and turning experience into wisdom. By burning the voices that said you couldn't into the fuel that proved you could. Because every setback is an education, and every obstacle teaches you something. Every challenge refines you. That's not just learning, that's earning. And some lessons are earned with a capital L. Thank you for listening today. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more life lessons earned with a capital L.